Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Hookah Anonymous, and you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Good reporting ass Mickey. We love you, Mickey.
What, Mickey? What's up?
What's up, Cash Jones, aka Wack100. Now you know it's only right that Mickey Truth interviewed Cash Jones. Everybody know Wack100.
Yeah, that's cool.
I got your folder.
You got a file on me? You got my
folder.
You got my C file, nigga.
Look.
You got my file.
All right, so listen, Cash Jones, Mr. Wack100 himself. I want to take it back, okay? Because a lot of people don't really understand. Because you said it that Wack100 is just, you know, your online media name. It's more to you besides that. The yelling and the screaming. Now, only you can do that as you do it.
Oh, but look, Mickey, I don't listen. Keep it real. You watch. How much shit do you see me start? I'm always responding, and then my response be so crazy. I'm just looking like I did it from A to Z.
Now you can be messy when you want to, but it's cool because they call me messy.
When was I messy?
So no, you messy because you know how to stir the pot, okay? I've seen you work. You a good teacher at it because I done got kind of better at stirring the pot. Okay, you can stir the pot. Now, okay, let's take it back. You've been very open about a lot of things. I mean, I watched many interviews, right? Many interviews. But I want to kind of just set the tone. Let's take it back. 17 years old. What was going on in your life at 17?
Shit. 17, I was in prison. I was sentenced to the penitentiary 7 years.
Okay. So now I definitely pulled the files.
I had 2 counts, a .245 with assault with deadly weapon, 1 count of firing into a vehicle, and 1 part of firing into a inhibited dwelling, and then a discharge in firearms in city limits.
Ooh,
I think they dropped.
17, Jesus.
Yeah, but before that, I had attempted murder, 245. Yeah. My first charge is at 12. You probably can only get to that one because I was charged as an adult. And when I tell people I've never caught a felony as an adult, that's what that means. I was charged as an adult and sent to prison. But 12-year-olds, I caught a assault with a deadly weapon. Then I think I did like 90 days in juvenile hall. They let me out. Then I went back for a gun possession. I went to Camp Miller for about 4 months, got out. And then I went back for another assault with deadly weapon. I did 9 months, got out. And then I had attempted murder. I had attempted murder case, and I ended up beating the case. And they tried to pin, because I was a high-speed chase and I was a minor, like 14. They tried to pin it on the
14.
Yeah, everything I'm telling you was 12 to like 14. So they tried to pin, they tried to say that my homeboy J-Dog, because he was already 18, is the one that made me keep driving. So I signed a statement at the police station, said that he begged me to pull over, and I told him, fuck you, jump out, it's my car, I'm going to drive it I want to drive. So they released him and put the evading the police and the attempted murder on me. What's crazy is that I ended up beating the attempted murder, but while I was there on the attempted murder, they booked me for a murder. They
Oh
come, they
wow.
had attempted murder on this dude named Benoit Black. He told everything from First Street East Coast, and then I had a murder that wasn't mine, but the motherfucker witnesses said it was me. So as I'm fighting attempted murder, they bring me back now and charge me with the murder.
Wow.
I beat the attempted murder because he showed up to court, and then it was lunchtime, and then some people showed up to court, and he left, and he didn't show up to court. So I beat that. I beat the murder. When I beat the attempted murder, they still charged me with evading the police. Right,
Oh
right.
wow.
The
They said
case
they're
I
gonna
took
get you with
off my
something.
homeboy. Right, and then the murder I beat because the witnesses came to court, and I had an alibi because I was at my wife's house or my girlfriend at the time with her and her mom. I was asleep. I wasn't nowhere around.
Right.
But the fucking witnesses took the stand, and my attorney was like, he said it was 10:30 at night. The dude had on the hood. He was sitting on the edge of the driver's side window firing backwards. So you telling me you was able to identify him 10:30 at night, dark, gunfire with a hoodie. And the witness said, well, I know it's him because he always come over here putting in work. It had to be him.
Oh,
So once the witness said that,
it was over.
yeah, we beat the murder. Which I didn't do the body. It wasn't my body.
Right.
They arrested 4 people, 3 adults, charged me, my homeboy Red Bull, Lil J Dog, and Baby Bullet. All of them was way older than me. I'm the baby of the bunch. They arrested them on the street, charged
Sound
me
like you
with
was a
it.
hellraiser too.
Yeah, I was a motherfucker. Charged me with it and then let them go, and I fought it. Even though it wasn't mine, I fought it. I beat it. So I end up going to YA for the motherfucking evade because I
That's
beat the
crazy.
attempt. Juvenile Hall didn't want me. Juvenile Camps had me twice, so they sent me to Nellis. I was supposed to did like 9 months, ended up doing 2 years, and then came home and then caught that case you looking at. Um,
So let me ask you this, because I was trying to do the timeline. Did you have your first child by then?
my first child was born August 26th. She was pregnant. I got her pregnant in Big Bear, December of '93.
Okay.
So when I went to jail, like a couple
She
weeks
was
after
about
that,
that.
she was pregnant the whole time. So the first time I saw my child was I was incarcerated.
So let me ask you this, because I can relate, right? I'm a teen mother. I had my daughter at 14.
No
At
shit.
at
Damn.
16, I had to go to DJJ for like 45 days. But I was away. Although at that point I think she was like 2. I was away though, right? How did that make you like did that change your mind? Like, yo, I'm moving messy, or like what did it do to you to see your son in jail? Well,
Well,
while you was in jail.
I only allowed it to happen twice. And after that, I didn't let it happen no more. Um, I had this thing where I didn't respect my father because he wasn't there for me. And
Mm.
cocaine is what was his cause. So, but I thought about it. I said, whether it's cocaine or I'm gang banging with violence, either way it go, I'm just like him. So what
Mm.
scared me was like I don't even call my father dad or none of that. I call him by his first and middle name, Robert Lee.
Right.
So what scared me was my son having the same attitude towards me.
Mm.
That
Okay.
scared the shit out of me. But what had happened when I was in prison at this time, um, this is when the racial shit ignited out here in California.
Okay.
So I had 7 years with half, so I was supposed to do 3.5 years. I ended up doing like damn near 6 years off that, 5 and some
Why is
change.
that? Why did you end up doing more?
For one, I was who I was, and it was not only the Crip and Blood tension, it was the racial tension. And either you was gonna lay down, roll it up, or you was gonna be part of the movement. So it
Mm.
was inevitable when it came to you catching time and riots, getting caught with knives and all that kind of shit. It just was what it was. I was one of the younger dudes that has some say so on the yard. You got say so on the yard, you're a target.
Makes sense.
And so, but it was in prison that my mind frame changed when it came to gangbanging.
Got you. Okay. Now, I did recently find out your wife is your like high school sweetheart, childhood sweetheart, right?
Um, Junior high school, 1991. We was 14, and then 5 years before that, 12, 86. 86 when I first kissed her when I was 9.
Not at 9.
Yeah, we was playing hide and go get it. So I cheated to watch to see where she was gonna hide at.
Let me tell you, like, I ain't gonna lie, Wack. I almost was like, I need to interview Mrs. Jones. Like, forget Wack. I need to interview her, okay? Because I read up on a spread, I think it was called Voyage LA. And it was so empowering reading the story that they put out there. I even went on her website, like, geez, definitely now I understand why she's called She Boss. So let's transition to you getting out of prison, right? At this point, are you married or are y'all still just like girlfriend boyfriend?
No, I wouldn't do that. I wasn't gonna cheat her like that. So I didn't get married until I came home. I came home in 99 and got married in June of 2000.
Okay. Now, at that point, what is your mindset? You out of jail or prison. You with your childhood sweetheart. Y'all get married. Y'all have, I believe, both kids by now, or just one?
No, just one.
Just one. So what
My
is?
children are 10 years apart.
Gotcha. Okay, 10 years apart. So what is the mind frame of Cash Jones at that point? Like, what are you thinking you need to do from this point forward?
I'm kind of at this point in time. At this point in time, I'm trying to figure out fatherhood. I'm a new dad. He's like 5 years old, and I'm trying to figure out fatherhood. Um, it was a challenge because ordinarily I can come home and do the things that niggas do in the street to get money, but I knew
All right.
that there was a risk of me going back to prison, and no way was I gonna go back to prison to come home with this boy 10, 11, or 12. So I had to
That's a good
sacrifice.
point.
Yeah, I had to sacrifice. A parole officer was on my ass about getting a job, but he was gonna violate me. That meant go back to jail and beg a nigga for a job to pay you 30 cents an hour. So my brother was running these stores, these distribution stores. They was like these thrift stores. So
Mm-hmm.
him and he got me a job picking up the donations.
Okay.
All they paid me was $6.50 an hour. That's it. But
Ooh,
it kept me out of prison. Long as
definitely.
I was out of prison, I was in the race. Long as I was in the race, I had opportunity to figure it out.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And I
I
understand.
had that mindset like I'm too gangster to what the fuck I'm gonna do? Go to prison and get the 30 cent an hour job and be away from my kid? Or
Exactly.
do I take this job to stay free? So I'm here to figure it out.
Looking up on you, right? It actually made me understand so much more and you're so relatable because I've said it on my channel before. Both of my parents was in and out of jail. So at this point, I definitely can understand where your son mind frame would have been at because I was that child, right? Then at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, like I said, I made the mistake as a teenager, was away from my daughter for a little while, and that woke me up like that's why I be unbothered when people come for me. Cause I'm like, I done made it through too much to be worrying about what opinions are. So let me ask you this. Now, I know you did trucking. Is that the what's the business called? Is that when you started your own trucking business? I believe it's
No,
called Precise, or was
Precise
that
Auto,
later?
Precise Auto Transport came in like 2002, maybe
Okay.
02, 03, something like that. But no, I'd um, actually, you know what? I had my wife when I was in jail had sent me the truck driving book.
Mm.
We had called and they said, well, it's $4,000. I said, well, I'm gonna have to get out and hustle. I'm gonna get in trouble trying to get that. Well, what do you use? And they told us the commercial driver's book from the DMV is free. So she got the book and sent it in to me as legal mail. So I studied the book. I memorized the book. Came home and took the written test. Got my permit before I went to see my parole officer. My uncle Bertrand Jones already had his own truck. He had went to Fresno State playing football, and he had injured himself, so he went into trucking. So he had told me when I called him from prison that if I got my license or permit, he'd teach me. So when I came home from prison, I took the test, didn't see my PO, told my PO I got my permit. My uncle had trained me. He don't have no felonies. He got a tracking system on his truck. Um, I need to pass. He like, absolutely not. You're a
Really?
high control SSU gang unit parole. You got a 30-mile radius.
Wow.
I told him, I said, look, brother name was Mr. Hudson. I said, listen, if I was your son and you was out in that parking lot and you knew that this wasn't a trade that was, you know, um, offered by the CDC system, and I went through what I went through to teach myself, take the test before you see the date on that test. I aced it. Coming in with a permit, do my due diligence and have a plan. Would you not want the people in here to give me a shot? I said, if not, you turning a hardened criminal loose to society. I
Right.
got a child, I got to feed him. You going to force my hand. He
Right.
looked at me. He called my uncle. Gave my uncle, they ran my uncle's name. Um, Told him about his tracking system on his truck. He called the people who had the contracts with, verified everything. Then he went and talked to his his supervisor. The
Mhm.
supervisor said, hey, this is a unique situation. We never had anybody come in here like this. This is on you. But your job could be on the line. He rolled the dice. He gave me a 10-day pass, and no matter where I was at, every 10 days, I had to stop at a police department, go in, get a fax number, and then they'll fax me another 10-day extension.
Yeah. So what I take from that is you spoke up for yourself and you didn't stop at the no when they turned you down, right?
No, I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't do that because my only option was to go back to the streets, and I knew what that was going to lead to.
And see, I feel like if so many people really, because like I took that from what you just said, right? And you spoke on it, like not in depth like that, but you talked about the situation. And I think a lot of times people miss because they look for the antics with Wack 100 that they're missing the actual info that Cash Jones is putting out there for people to learn from. So I definitely am a fan of Cash Jones. Okay, Wack 100 be acting a little iffy sometimes, but Cash Jones is
Wack
definitely
100 is kind of fun sometimes. He is kind of fun sometimes.
yes, I like again, and I want to just thank you because I love interviews. I haven't done a lot where you can just freely ask questions. So you have not.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm an open book. Hey, listen, it's good and bad and ugly that come with everybody. So I'm not one of those people that's gonna give you restrictions because you might see some shit that say, I wonder. And if I don't give you explanation to give you the history behind something that I may have done, then I'm leaving you to make
Right.
your own opinion about that shit. And us as people, we assume the worst.
Exactly.
Anyway, so
Now everybody's gonna be like, Mickey, did you pull his criminal? Yes, yes, we're gonna get there. I'm working my way up to that. Like I told you, wanting to really tap into Cash Jones. But I already know people gonna be like, oh, Mickey held back on Wack because of her affiliation with Wack 100. It's
bullshit.
not
You said, what did I tell you when you text me? You said, is there anything I can't ask? I said,
yeah,
yo, do what you do.
you did. You did. Now, where to the opportunity you got to do the trucking while you was on probation. Now, I've heard you tell the story as far as why you was doing trucking, what made you kind of go out on your own. But before we get into that, I do want to ask, because your wife, I'm just gonna tell you, like your wife just like stuck with me reading her story, right? So during this time that you're transitioning from prison to like real life with trucking and all that, was she holding down the family? How was that going? Like, what was her role at that point?
I still have family on the street. My mother was on the street. Both my brothers was on the streets, and I'm in prison hustling. So
Mm,
I didn't, I made sure that was straight.
okay,
She had what she needed. It may not have been what it is and what I'm there, but she was straight.
good.
Once
Okay,
I came home, I just kind of balanced everything out. I had money put up when I came home. Nobody knew where it was, so I just kind of took that and gave that to her and let her fill in the blanks until I figured everything else out. And
teamwork.
I always talk about the white Honda. I remember that's the first car I went and got because I didn't want to go get no hood shit because I knew I was on parole. I didn't want the attention on me. So we went and got a 1995 Honda Accord 4-door 99. And me and my wife carpooled in that.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
you can't tell. I wasn't giving shit. I still got the car. So I can look over there and see a Rolls Royce, and I can look and see a Range and a Porsche and Hellcats and low riders and old schools. But it all started with the white Honda, which I still have in my garage, fully restored. I can jump in it and drive to fucking New York to make it because that's where it started.
I love that. I love that. So what I'm getting, because I've noticed y'all do teamwork. You and your wife, Kimberly, right?
Yep.
Y'all do teamwork. So, and I've read that that's been the case from day one. And you just said y'all used to y'all basically got it out in the mud together and worked y'all way up. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you're definitely in the forefront, right? You're definitely in the forefront. Everybody know Wack100. Because like I said, until recently when we started talking about the interview, I didn't even know who your wife was, right? Had to look into it. Now, a lot of businesses I see y'all co-own together. Was it more so you like, yo, let's like get our hands into everything, or was it like a collective? Like y'all have a lot going on, so
I start.
how that
I start the shit. I started. If it's things like the intricate things like the diaper company,
mm-hmm.
the idea was mine. Figuring out was mine. When it comes to like the print on the diaper and the color of the box, that shit, that's her. You know what I'm saying? But as
Okay.
far as the initial thought, what I want to do, how I'm gonna do it, and I'll be figuring this shit out as I go. I won't even know about it. And
Right.
we'll jump on the plane and go to China and pop up, we'll figure it out. It's like what I don't grab, she will. What she don't grab, I will. So it's like I usually start it, and then she does the internal shit. And then if it's problems, I'll come back in, or then I'll come back in to close it.
Oh, I
So like
like
if I start it, I pass it. So like marketing schemes, all the what the diaper's gonna look like, the box, all that shit like that she'll do. Then when it comes to distribution, funding, all that, then it passes back to me.
okay. I
Because
like
while
that.
she's doing that middle shit, I'll go start something else.
So
So
that makes
you know what I'm saying?
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
that makes
start
sense.
something else, pass it. She's doing that, and then I'll start something else. By the time she's done doing everything in the middle, I'm passing her the new thing, and then I go close it.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. So let me ask you this: entertainment, because I know everybody gonna be like, Mickey, we want to know about the entertainment. So I'm gonna take a different approach. I'm not gonna ask you just about particular events. I'm gonna ask you what made you get into entertainment at all.